Welcome to Mindless Entertainment. My name is Jesse Milestone, and we are here today to discuss legendary filmmaker Quentin Tarantino coming under fire by a reporter when interviewed about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This reporter asking him to justify why Margot Robbie had such a small role playing Sharon Tate in this upcoming film. Oh my God, this must be misogyny. And when there's a whole thing about that, to which Tarantino just responded, "I reject your hypothesis." That's it. Margot Robbie jumped in and made some more comments about the character and all that, but that was it. That was what he said. He was like, "I reject your hypothesis. Move on." Which I think we can all agree, irrespective of how we feel about the situation or Tarantino himself or anything, is probably one of the most brilliant responses when being confronted with idiotic leading questions of that nature. That goes right up there with refusing requests by saying, "I'm sorry, it is against my programming to impersonate a deity." I'm clapping for that response. Now, Tarantino is someone I have an immense respect for. Do I have issues with him? Yeah, I don't need to know about your foot fetish in every goddamn film you make. I tend to find moments in all of his films that I absolutely love. I tend to find moments in almost all of his films, Reservoir Dogs excepting, that are just horrifically self-indulgent and make me go like, all right, come on, really, dude? But that said, I don't doubt his brilliance. I don't doubt his capacity as a filmmaker. But beyond all those things, beyond all these things he's done, one of the things that I absolutely adore about Quentin Tarantino is just the way that he deals with the world. We're talking about somebody, this guy, I mean, you want to ask the question, does Quentin Tarantino have a problem with women? Does he have a problem with all of his interpersonal relationships? Probably. We're talking about a guy, I mean, look at him. Have you seen the man? Have you heard what he sounds like? And we're talking about a guy who dropped out of high school at like 15 to work as an usher at a porn theater. This is not the world's most socially adjusted human. And the way he's dealt with that is to pretty much define his own codified set of behavior for how he interacts with the world, and he just does it. And there's something to be lauded in that. Now, you want to ask the deeper question, does Tarantino hate women? Just look at all his films. You can see so clearly how much he hates women because obviously only women are victims of violence in his film. There are never any powerful characters in his movies who have any agency or do things for themselves. And yeah, only the women die or get brutalized. No man is ever treated horribly or killed on a whim out of nowhere randomly in his films. No man is ever wounded or tortured. Really? I mean, this is such a thing for me, right? This is a thing. Equality means equal. And I know that that's hard for a lot of people, but equal means the same. So if you have a director who's known for his aestheticization of violence, his brutal murdering of characters and making characters into murderers, murdered and murdered alike, being tortured, torturing, etc., it's not equality unless it's happening to both genders. If he was just doing it to the men and never to the women, that's sexist. And this, viewing women as equally able to be the killer or the killed, as equally able to be assaulted, tortured, beaten, as equally capable to be the monster, the murderer, the killer, right? That's equality. Acknowledging that, yeah, you can be that good or that bad, just like the men. That's equality. Tarantino's doing equality when you don't even know what the word means. There. Yay. Good job. Well done. And I also want to go back. When you look at this is a man we should all be paying close attention to. This is a man whose business we should be giving to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because quite simply, he does that. He rejects your hypothesis. This hypothesis now being identity politics, and he's been doing that his whole career. He's been under fire plenty of times before. For the woman thing. He's also been under fire for his use of the N-word in his films, at which point he says, I'm a writer. I have the right to write any character and have them say whatever I want them to say, provided I feel like it fits my narrative. If you're right, if you're saying I can't write this word because of the color of my skin, that is racist. Frickin' men. Equality. It's a two-way street. That's why there's two lines in it, because the double line means that the traffic goes both ways. Bah! Actually, that's what the yellow line means. The double line just means you can't cross it. But whatever! I like my metaphor. I'm sticking with it. Two-way street. Both ways. Traffic going both directions, right? If the second you get into you can have this thing and I can't, that's not equality. And Tarantino just implicitly recognizes that. And because of the way that he goes about the world and interacts with the world and interacts with the people in it, he just seems like a person he doesn't feel any of the pressures. He doesn't feel any of the pressures that normal people have to conform to this ideology or conform to that. He has never once in his life done that, for better or for worse. Christ, how many times can we shoot someone's head off in Hateful Eight? But whatever you think about him as a filmmaker, as a human being, that is one thing you can clearly say. He will bow to nobody's narrative, and I think it is a damn shame that he has made certain statements about retiring by 60 and only making 10 films, because whether the movies do good, whether they do well, do poorly, whether I like them, whether I don't like them, we need voices like him. We need people like him who are going to stare down a reporter who says, you're being a misogynist because you didn't give the Sharon Tate character a big enough part, and have him just go, I reject your hypothesis. Your hypothesis doesn't even make sense. I'm not even going to acknowledge this as a legitimate question because it's not even a legitimate question. I made a film about these two guys in Hollywood, and Sharon Tate, the character of Sharon Tate, happens to be a part of it. Why is there some obligation? Is this where we're going now? You told a story. Your main characters are men. You are obligated to give as much screen time to every gender represented in your film, because if not, that's sexism. That's bullshit, is what that is. That is utter, absolute bullshit. That is quantity over quality, and it makes no effing sense. Did these people? I mean, did you watch the movie? I mean, do you have a criticism? The criticism is not even based. It's not even rooted in something logical, like, well, the Sharon Tate character should have had a bigger role because X, Y, and Z. I mean, the easy, simple answer, and the only answer that Tarantino needed is just, this is not, that's not her story. I didn't write the Sharon Tate movie. I wrote a movie about these guys and how they intertwine with that story, and that's what Tarantino does. Like, did you complain that there was not enough Hitler in Inglourious Bastards? Because, oh my God, he's the most iconic, based on a real character, figure in that film. There should have been a lot more Hitler. We didn't see enough of Adolf, because, like, well, he's in it and he's important, so you better give him the screen time he deserves. Like, it's the same thing. You're talking about the guy who does this. He's like, let me take history. I'm going to kind of rewrite it and tweak it and add my own spin on it and put my own crap on it and make it completely up. The guy who has no qualms about inventing new history. And you're like, yeah, but why didn't you write more about this character? Because he didn't freaking want to. Show me the rule book that says that we have, as artists, as writers, as creators, have some obligation to write characters in certain ways, to give certain amounts of screen time to certain people over others. Show me that rule book. And you do, I will burn it. And so will Tarantino. And then go and jerk off to someone's feet, which is weird. I think it's weird. Like, I'm glad that you're comfortable with yourself, bro. I'm glad you're comfortable with your proclivities. I don't need to know that much about them, but you do you, and not me, you weird little monkey. But anyway, does Tarantino have an overarching problem with the female gender? Should hope not. He just got married. He seems pretty happy about it. Another telling point, did he get married to somebody deep entrenched in Hollywood? Nah, he did not. I mean, first of all, because he's a weirdo, so he had to go travel the world and go find a really weird person to want to marry him. But this is once again, there's no... It pisses me off when people want to bring up something like, oh, well, he made Uma Thurman do that stunt and she crashed the car and she's permanently wounded from it. That's because Uma Thurman was the person who was supposed to do the stunt in the film. If she hadn't done it, if there were any, when there's shots of her, there had to be a female stunt driver anyway. So, oh my God, she's Uma Thurman because she's a more important woman than somebody else. No. Like, that's, if it was a dude doing the stunt, he would have told the dude to do the stunt. Like, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. Does he have weird, damaging relationships with people in his life? I mean, he punched out the guy who there was the people who ended up optioning the screenplay for Natural Born Killers that he is credited with creating. He punched that guy out in public because of something. That's a dude. So there you go. See, he hates men too. He just hates everybody. He's just a hateful little man who likes to say the N-word and likes to punch people in the face and likes to maim women, obviously. You figured it out based on the fact that one female character did not get as much screen time in a film as a reporter thought she deserved. Can we just like have a moment of silence for how utterly off the rails this world is becoming? Just Jesus H. Christ. I honestly, after reading that article and reading his response, I became a bigger Tarantino fan. I've been a casual. I've loved Reservoir Dogs is one of my abjectly favorite films, and I'm a casual enthusiast of many of his other works and a critic of some of them as well. But man, the more I'm reading into these statements and cross-referencing and going back in history, because I got to do my due diligence. All right, people are like, Tarantino's a problem with women. Let's see. Let's go list of things that he's done that demonstrate that he's a brutal misogynist. Can't find him. Can't find him. You can talk his crude remarks on about Roman Polanski, on Howard frickin' Stern, on the King of Crude, and then you can also look at his apology afterwards and the fact that he didn't go on to ever repeat those remarks or double down on them. You can say, oh, his association with Harvey Weinstein. You can say that about so many people's associations with Harvey Weinstein, and you can look at the fact that he confronted Harvey on 2 different occasions, and when it became an issue with Uma Thurman, directly told him, you may not be around her anymore, and then his follow-up statement about saying that he wished he had done more because he knew enough to do more and that he wished he had done more. And this is not somebody, he doesn't dodge things, he doesn't hide behind things. He is 100% authenticity, and goddamn if that isn't one of the rarest things you can find in Hollywood. So will I be going to give my money to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood when that hits the big screens? You goddamn right I will. Because we need voices like him. We need people who, for better or for worse, are not afraid to say what they want to say. And magically, and I think it's a lot because of that authenticity and because of the fact that he doesn't play into anyone else's dialogues. He writes his own and forces people to interact with him on his own playing field. He manages to get away with some things that other people aren't getting away with. So we should all watch and learn and study this man and try to be a little bit more like him. Minus the foot fetish. That's what I got for you today. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you go ahead and press that like button. If you're enjoying, and that is oppress. Someone put in the comments the other day, I was like, I know you're saying oppress. No, I'm saying oppress. Oppress it. Repress it. Depress it. Molest it. Caress it if you like, maim it, brutalize it, rape it, tickle its toes if you're Quentin, whatever makes you happy. Do that to the like button. There's a bunch of links popping up that I encourage you to click on all of them. You got Jesse Shot First, the amazing t-shirt designed by Anna, that Star Wars girl. You got LA Cheese Sticker, which is my new channel. We're dropping content in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be an awesome show about Philly people eating cheesesteaks. I'm one of them. And then you got Get Involved with Me, which will tell you everything you need to know to find my Teespring links. We've got the Mindless Entertainment mug just came out today. We got Patreon. We've got, I'm on Twitter at Jesse Milestone, at Instagram at Mindless Entertainment. All of the places, PO address, things like that. So you guys are great. Thank you so much for everything you do to help my channel. Even just watching the video and giving it a thumbs up. It helps so much more than you know. I appreciate that so very much. God Empress out.